I just realized it was showtime. The StreamYard app does a little countdown, and when it hits the scheduled time, it goes, showtime. So it is showtime. Let me see everyone who's come in early. Fox of Fate, Miss Foxification, Luke Morford with the Fox Avatar, 3 Foxes in a row. And Heist, you're helping me out. Heist is pronounced heist. Okay, good. Good evening, one and all. Oh, it's finally cooled down a bit, I think. Oh, yeah, fuck off. Dickheads have cut off the water to the house due to emergency works. Cut it off about an hour ago and just sent a text saying, oh, yeah, your water's been cut off. Fucking jerks. Aussie Gun Bunny, hello. What is the temperature outside now? It's still 30. Okay. It's going to cool down. Wow, it's going to drop a lot to 19. That's a fairly big drop, actually. And then it's only 25 tomorrow. And then for some obscure reason, the weekend, it's raining all weekend and it's 16 and 17. There are lots of places that really need rain. Melbourne is a long way from the hardest hit. And hi, Big Pat. How you going, mate? I got the alcohol, so I'm okay. I got the Pepsi. I'll stay alive with Pepsi. And hi, Will. G'day there. I mean, seriously, look around. That's like the reason I called this stream that today you warned us summer's going to be hell. Like a lot of from South Australia and all up the East Coast got temperatures today way above average. In some cases, like 15 to 20 degrees above average. We've already had severe bushfires all over. New South Wales has had more areas burnt out by bushfire already than the last 2 fire seasons combined. And we're more than a month till the official start of summer. The peak, most dangerous bushfire period is like January, February, March. And here we are in October and it's already massive bushfire issues. Half of inland Australia is running out of water. And I mean literally running out of water. Towns facing having no water. Sydney's main water supply has dropped 50% in the last 2 years. It's like, we're fucked, people. We are fucked. Catherine, you're washing out on the line. Nice. Got the washing done just in time to watch the live stream. These are your priorities. That's what I like. Fox, your town in New South Wales, blanketed in smoke. My family, about half my family still lives in Dubbo, where I grew up, and I'm always seeing pictures, like on Facebook. They keep getting dust storms, really quite significant dust storms in Dubbo. And when I say I grew up there, I was there till I was 18, and there was like one dust storm my entire life. It was a pretty full-on one, mind you, and it was during a drought, sort of early 80s, late 70s, early 80s drought. So, yeah, my 18 years living there, it was one dust storm. They've had 2 or 3 comparable dust storms in the last couple months in Dubbo. It's just like, it's fucked. We're fucked. Aussie Company, you're getting a crime wave as well as a heat wave. Just, that's not good. Chantel, you got a breathing mask for this summer. That will come in handy for a lot of people at Miss Foxification need to. Oh yeah, look, illegal burn-offs, poorly advised burn-offs, and actual arson. And it is a little bit freaky when you find out that people are like in the volunteer bushfire brigade start fires. This doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened. And it's usually someone young in the volunteer bushfire brigade actually starts bushfires because they want to be heroes. Pat, hi, how you going? Folks, you've a peat fire near your airport. Wow. Okay. Yes, those can make a lot of smoke. That's not a thing that ever happened in Dubbo. It's just very dry. See, Miss Foxification, you may be right saying you knew someone who set Black Saturday fires, had been reporting him for setting fires. There's precious few resources for investigating stuff like that, because it's so hard to prove. I think you basically have to either catch someone or browbeat them into confessing, and so wrongly, obviously, but the cops can't be asked. And no, I was thinking, buddy, town feels like Grand Theft Auto. Oh dear. Kids as young as 11 being chased by police and choppers. God, yep. There's a little bit of an issue when it's that widespread. Oh, okay, Miss Fox Action. So they did GPS monitor him after the Black Saturday fire. A little bit too late. Okay. Oh yeah, Chantel, Stradbroke Island. I've heard so many stories about backburns going wrong on Stratty and people having to evacuate to the beach. I camped on Stradbroke Island once. A sister who lives in Brisbane, I went up to visit and we did a camping thing at Stradbroke. I got sunstroke. That wasn't good. That was not good at all. Full-on sunstroke, fever, sick, nausea, hallucinating. Oh, wow. Okay, yep, that's... Okay, the way you're describing that, Miss Foxification, that is a pretty severe mental disorder by the sounds of it. Couldn't even go down to a corner store without lighting fires. Fire starting is a particular sort of pathology. If someone is literally cannot control their fire starting urges, there's something serious going on there. Oh, yes, Fox, that's what you say. Yes. It is easy to point out when you go, why aren't the cops doing that? And why are they doing this? A rash of stories this week of cops in different states inappropriately strip searching people. I mean, it's not too big a stretch to say there are a lot of cops on big fucking power trips. And and they do shit just because, in their opinion, they can. And what are you going to do to stop me, punk? It's usually a big mistake to rile up a cop. Pat, you want to have a YouTube meetup? We'll probably have a Christmas party. Talk to the people. We might have a picnic in a park in Melbourne sometime in December. When does Christmas actually fall? And don't say 25th of December. I know that. I just don't know what day of the week that is. I'm going to look at a calendar. It's a Wednesday. So maybe Saturday the 14th? Saturday the 7th, maybe. But might have a Christmas party, picnic in a park. Abigail Cop. Yes. It's the next logical step for schoolyard bullies. Luca, yes. Tea dinner, man. You want to nominate a day and organize some people? I'd be bang up for Is there a good tea room these days? The one we used to always go to closed down, of course. And it appears a mysterious gypsy woman wants something out of the kitchen. Okay, the 7th. If it's Doggo's birthday, yeah, I think that's a good reason to say Christmas picnic on December the 7th for Doggo's birthday. Yes, you're off camera now. Oh yes. This vocation. The number one thing to never say to a cop: go and catch a real criminal, because that always ends well. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Saying something to a cop, like when they're hassling you over something stupid, don't say, "So you've caught all the murderers and rapists then." That doesn't end well. Or like drawing attention to cops' record with domestic abuse. It's like I have to admit, I like some really dark humor, and I saw someone adapt a Simpsons meme. And there's one where Bart. The original thing is Bart complains to Homer, "This is the worst day of my life," and Homer leans in and goes, "The worst day of your life so far." And someone changed the caption to Bart looking upset, saying, 40% of cops are domestic abusers. And Homer goes, 40% of cops are reported for domestic abuse. And hello, RC and Anthony. How you all going? RC, whose palm do you want to cross with silver? I've missed something. Oh, Musical Avenue. You wonder if the cops were strip searching fat hairy guys or just cute ladies? No. They I think at least one of the people they strip searched was an older man. It's just thing. Oh, this Fox occasion remembers the old rhymes. A cop won't get upset if you call him a cop now, but you get upset them by calling a 1 cent or a 2 cent piece. And you have to be a little bit old to remember that because they've been out of circulation for a while. But what's the colour of a 2 cent piece? Copper. Oh, RC, it was the gypsy lady you wanted. Unfortunately, she's gone. Yep. As that was young, was angry, wanted to get something out of the probably a can of Pepsi, actually, and didn't want to be on camera. And I could go into like our spare room / office, which is the room where I shoot videos, when I do a pre-recorded video, and then I'd be out of everyone's way. But why make life easy for everyone else? That's what I say. It's not too big an imposition that I'm sort of in a corner of the kitchen for a couple of hours on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and sometimes other days. But sometimes, like, if I do a live stream on the weekend, like particularly if I'm recording something for a podcast with Eva, because it's the middle of the day or the middle of the afternoon. I was literally about to say, I don't know if Aidsy is joining us. And he just said, he's ready. I should send him a link so he can join the chat. Let me open my Gmail and I will send the boy a message. Am I being racist calling him boy? I don't know. So a little Control V in there. And that's him, sent the link. Ramshark, I have not seen the new Zombieland movie yet. Just sent the link. All right, he should be here soon. Pat, I'm not sure what you mean by your YouTube 72. Do you mean you got 72 subscribers? That would be pretty cool. Oh, there you go. Fox knows all the strip searches. A teenager, a disabled man, and random shopkeepers on break during a festival. Ah. So that's him saying, got it. Okay. He's going to be with us soon. Chantel, your husband is going out to get fuel before it drops to $1.80. Ah, yeah, no, I missed that. I could have, I guess, filling the tank with the price jump. It jumped up to $1.70 here from $1.30. That would have saved me about $20 on filling a tank, and I missed it by a day. It just caught me by surprise, the change. That was like 2 days ago here. This Fox Cage, did you hear what Bethesda did? They released a $100 a year subscription for, oh God, Jesus Christ. Who the fuck is going to do that? Bethesda have a $100 US a year subscription for Fallout 76, which I thought nobody liked. You don't get the game free, and it's the only way to get the private server too. That's just like, oh, Adele, you're having some dinner. That's nice. Where are you here now? Just like Blazing Saddles paraphrase. I feel like that's Bethesda holding a gun to their own head, saying nobody move or the idiot gets it. That that doesn't seem very smart at all. I haven't been playing much games recently. One of my favorite games, Borderlands, released a sequel, which I don't have yet. I'm going to wait for it to get cheap because I'm not in a position to spend a lot of hours playing it. I'll probably have time off work over Christmas. I might do it then, or I might just play Red Dead Redemption. Mrs. Angry is still playing Red Dead Redemption at the moment. It looks very cool. I want to play it. Adele, yes, 37, and now you're dead. The temperature was 37. Now you're dead. Yes, no, this today is a very bad warning. And everything we had with drought, places running out of water, very early bushfires. This summer's gonna be fucked. Absolutely fucked. Jesus, we'll be dying by January, honestly. Heist, you cross the Borderlands balance team. Keep nerfing all the good guns and skills. Well, I haven't played. I have no idea what the new game's like. I liked the original Borderlands. I really liked Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel and all the DLC for Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. There were some very good add-ons for that. Was it how long we've been playing games? Adele likes Skyrim. Heist been playing Skyrim for 8 years. I started Skyrim and didn't really get into it. I might get back to it sometime. Ramshark, you've played Red Dead through twice. Nice. Oh, there you go. That's a good. I like that as a review, Heist, from Jim Sterling. It's a new Borderlands game and it's good. There you go. That's all I need to know. Yes, because I do very much enjoy the Borderlands games. Oh, there's AZ waving at me. Let's bring him in. There he is.
Hello. Thank you very much for letting me be on your device. I was going to be on your device earlier, but Angry said no.
I hadn't heard from you. I didn't know if you were coming in tonight. But then I was literally, as I said to the good folk in the chat, I was literally about to say, I was just saying some good. And I said, I don't know if AZ's going to join us tonight. I haven't heard from him. And just before me gob opened and said that, the phone dinged, and it were you.
Yeah, well, I was looking on my emails and going, let me in, Angry. Like that, like Bunny Boiler. Like,
yeah,
I'm looking at you while you're asleep. Like that. And, like, I'm looking at you while you're asleep. You're pretty.
Looking at you while you sleep, I have to tell you, there's an idea for a sketch video I've had for a while and need to do it. And but it needs more than one person, which is why I hadn't been organized to do it. But it revolves around that silly fake fact someone invented. You eat 8 spiders in your sleep during your lifetime.
No,
do you know that one?
No, I
Sorry?
don't. I don't. I sleep with insect spray around my bed.
Yeah.
Because I've had a run-in with ants.
Yeah. So someone invented years ago, men think about sex every 5 seconds, which, they literally just made that up. And it somehow caught on and got repeated in media.
I heard it was 5 minutes. But 5 seconds, 5 minutes is the same. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Because it's absolutely unmeasurable. It's obviously not true because it's absolutely unmeasurable.
Put a penis cuff around me. Measure me.
Yes, that's a different sort of measurement.
No, it's not. It's the same measurement.
Oh, just for fun, Chantel's telling us she's been bitten by spiders in her sleep twice. I mean, that happens because they do go wandering around. And if you roll onto them, they'll bite you as a defensive thing.
Can you not say spiders go wandering around? Because that, it's like when we watched horror movies and I said, is this a nice movie? Do the insides of people stay on the insides and the outside on the outsides? And you go, oh, yes, Sadie, this is a nice movie.
In my defense, the movie was called Tokyo Gore Police, so that was a dumb question.
No, I can't read. And you just said, here's our movie, flash, 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 whack, in it goes. And then a chick with no arms and no legs goes on stilts. And that was, ew. But she was pretty. But her, flip, flip.
We have a few classics in the genre, along with Tokyo Gore Police. I do have Big Tit Zombie on DVD.
Well,
Martin works with it. See, Martin Scorsese got in the press for saying he doesn't think the Marvel movies are cinema. But fair call. But he's bang up for fucking. He's a huge fan of Big Tit Zombie and Tokyo Gore Police.
Who said he didn't think?
Martin Scorsese, famed film director. It's just like it's perfectly okay to think. Bro. It's perfectly okay to say, I don't like them. It's perfectly okay to say, I think they're shit. It's perfectly okay to say, I think they reduce filmmaking to a fucking cash balance sheet.
But how would it be if I said, Marty, I think Al Pacino's paid too much, you wank fuck? How would he go then? Would he say, well, who the fuck are you, buddy? Well, okay, let me turn around and say the Marvel movies are like $400 million of gold, buddy.
Yeah.
You sit there going, come on, Thor. In the comics, you had a puffy hat. Not here. You're a Helmsley. And,
he's
and
a
then
Helmsley,
Marty's going, oh, yeah, if I went to the gym for about 15 fucking years, I might not get half as good as a Helmsley. Right?
Yeah.
That's why he said, oh, this shit. Because he's jealous as fuck of Robert Downey Jr., who is perfect as Tony Stark. I'm sorry. He can go in a ho-hum-V as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. No. And who else joined in? Because that caused some online controversy, of course. So then Francis Ford Coppola jumped in and said, yeah, I fucking hate them. They're terrible.
Yeah, well, he's fucking Scorsese's mate. What was he going to say? Oh, they're fucking great. Too. Scorsese's fucked. No, he's his mate. They fucking do 69s, those guys.
And another one, like I think, maybe the guy who made the Lady Fucks the Fishman movie, he might have said it too.
Probably.
So he did Ken Loach. Okay, Ken Loach. For those who aren't familiar with Ken Loach, because he's a less well-known filmmaker, he's a British filmmaker who makes very gritty, down-to-earth, usually about class war films. Ken Loach is the guy. He's the bloke. He's the dude. I would not be at all surprised that Ken Loach, who makes gritty, stirring films for 50 pence and a sausage roll for everyone on set, I wouldn't be surprised that he thinks spending $400 million making a film is a bit of a lark. But look, that's the thing. You can say you don't like them. You can say you think they're trashy. You can say but doing a dumb statement like they're not, of course they're cinema. They're films. They're in this, and it's like when the film critic Roger Ebert said video games can't be art, and it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Fuck off.
It's like as soon as you say I am the arbiter and I decide this is the or fucking.
You have never heard me say rap music is fucked. You have never heard me say that. You have heard me say that.
Ben Shapiro.
I can't relate to it. It's not my culture. I think I would be doing it a disservice to comment upon it. It is clearly brilliant. It is clearly a mature art form now. There is poetry in it that is spectacularly well done. There is even poets doing back and forth poems, like in the classical times of British poetry in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. So clearly it's genius level art. I can't culturally connect to it, but that means fuck all, right? Because I'm not fucking anyone. I wasn't born in East LA, but fucking millions were. And, I'm fucking one getting less fat white guy in Australia. Lost another 3 kilos. Boom.
Nice.
And my bottom jaw's coming apart. No, my teeth are coming apart. But I have a tube of glue right here, so I'll probably just glue them up while we're here. I mean, I won't fuck around. I'll just get it done. Where's my tube? That's not a tube. Oh, I've left it in the other room. Oh, I'm going to be private anyway. How embarrassing. Anyway, so, all these wankers, it says, oh, it's not cinema. It's not, what I think. You're fucking jealous of the $500 million they spent on it. If they gave you $500 million, you might do a film. It just doesn't involve a divorce.
What I thought was
I could have the beach house. You're dagging my heart out with a spoon. Which in Marvel movies they deal with in one scene. Fuck you, it's done. We've been sad. Now get back to the fight scene. So I've been thinking about that too. I remember
what I thought was funny about it with Scorsese, because he's out doing promotion. He's got a new thing out that's got Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in it. And Marty, there are other actors in the world.
No shit. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Fuck, with a Scorsese film. Who knew that was coming? Yeah. Oh, what's it called? The Geriatrics Shoot One Last Gun.
Oh, it's called The Irishman. And to me, the funny thing is, it's a Netflix film. He's being paid by Netflix to make it. And of course, at things like the Cannes Festival and stuff, some of these people, they scream abuse at Netflix films. If they see the Netflix logo, they lose their shit. So I thought it was really funny, Marty trying to be a purist while he's doing a Netflix film. Now, I think him doing a Netflix film is completely legitimate. Right. But while he's being an elitist fucking wanker, the other elitist wankers will be shitting on him for doing a Netflix film. I mean, I don't know where Netflix gets their money, because they're clearly spending hundreds of millions of fucking dollars. But also to various celebs, both behind and in front of the camera, they're clearly just saying to people, oh, do you want to be in a Netflix thing? Whatever you fucking want. We'll just give you the money to make it. Because you see really, really big name people do both series and movies on Netflix, and just a cavalcade of big names. And to my mind, they've put an open door saying, hey, are you famous? Come in here and do whatever the fuck you want. And
well, I mean, Netflix has got a couple of bucks to throw around now. I mean, they might be a bit successful because their TV shows were shit, and everybody watched them twice, 3 times and bought the merch. So, fucking it's revolutionary times. When we were kids, we couldn't imagine what the internet was going to be. And so that's completely revolutionized Western life in the 21st century. I remember 2 things. I remember when the internet was born, the people from Microsoft and IBM said it would be a fad.
Microsoft did not understand it at all.
They said, no, deal of shit. And then finally, Bill Gates said, if there is no browser wrapped up with a operating system, it will be nothing. And finally, he got on board. And then everyone shat themselves when Firefox released their browser for free. Oh my God, the wall fell, the world fell over. You can't do that. You can't. There was actually companies that say you can't do that. That ruins our business
actually,
model.
they successfully sued Microsoft under antitrust rules because what Microsoft did was illegal. They abused their market position to destroy a rival company. That is, to the letter of the law, illegal. And Microsoft did lose the court case. Ultimately, didn't hurt them and didn't help Netscape. Although what was hilarious, Netscape, we're releasing the code under the Mozilla Foundation, and it'll be an open source project. And then nothing happened for like 3, 4, 5 years. And everyone said, well, that was a dumb fucking idea. Nothing came out of that. And then the Firefox browser came out and fucking smashed Microsoft.
And didn't it bounce onto the world so fucking hard and fast?
Yeah. But it was hilarious because it took years, and people thought because it took years, it would never happen.
Project's dead. Yeah, every time Microsoft builds something, it comes out in 18 months. Well, fuck, didn't it? Every time Microsoft built something, it did come out in 18 months. It was shit.
Yeah.
Because they used to release on date, and shit, that stuff used to come out like fucking communist trucks. Missing wheels, half an engine. Don't worry about it. Get it down the ramp. The internet, don't you mean the information superhighway? I do mean the information superhighway, but I don't have a license, and so I go underneath on the
Some
rail
people
car.
actually tried to be clever. They thought the term infobarn would catch on. It didn't. Although I did like at the time when some people were pushing infobarn, and it sort of was in the media for a couple months.
I like the term infobarn. You can't go less than 5 kilobits per minute.
Yeah, I did like someone at the time wrote, I'm not calling it the infobarn, that's stupid. Call it the infostrada, because then at least it sounds like you get a decent cappuccino when you stop.
Oh, you don't though.
No, you don't.
I remember when the information superhighway was released, and you'd get like 5 and 15 baud fucking telephones that you had to put into the internet, and you'd wait for porn to come up, and then you go and you get the photo, and then you go and have a cup of coffee and watch some TV, and it'd come down line by line by line, and it'd be someone wearing a bathing costume, and you go, I waited an hour for that slap.
That's a real thing, kids. When we thought, look, here's some naughty pictures. It would take 5 or more minutes for one high-res photo to download.
Oh no, low-res photo.
Well, it seemed high-res at the time. It was
at the time it was high-res. Yeah. There was.
I do just want to actually give a shout out to PBR, who said, "Here's come from a flatmate's wake."
Damn, sorry about that, PBR.
Yeah, so I hope you're okay, man.
Yeah, that sucks ass.
Yeah, but I'm glad you can hang out with us for a while. Hopefully, lift the mood somewhat. But yeah, oh my God, the yon olden days of having to use the telephone line and everything being so fucking slow, and even hilariously, until I'm not sure when the technology caught up, but certainly until the late 90s, you couldn't play a video on a home PC. The technology simply didn't exist.
No, it wouldn't work. Nothing was fast enough. You had to. What you had to do was you had to stick a cord from the camera, which had to have good batteries in, because you couldn't power it at the same time you were putting information out of somewhere, because for reasons. And then you'd have to stick the thing in the back of your computer, and you had to screw it on because there was a serial connection. And then you had to click a different port in your computer play the camera and then you'd see the thing up on the screen, but you couldn't use your computer while this was happening because it was just your computer was now just a monitor. Damn it, tea break is what? Tea break is over. Much love from Blighty. Have a good one, Andrew. I hope that you can bunk off work later and come and say hello to us. We're here for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Oh, look, see, PBR's treating this as therapy. That's nice.
Yeah, I'll have therapy up with you. In fact, to help your therapy, I'm going to get the tube and do my teeth live on camera. But the second thing I remembered was the movie show by David and Elaine, which was here in Australia. And Margaret and Elaine.
Margaret and David. Get it together.
Oh, fuck. Margaret and David. You figure you came and rescued me, Andrew and I.
They were for 20 years. They were like the film reviewers.
The music critics, reviewers. Anyway, one of the first, I think it was the first Iron Man came out. And Margaret said, I didn't like it. It looked too much like one of those comic books. And I just fucking face palmed and went, are you fucking serious? And lost my shit. I was a lot younger then.
Yeah. I remember every now and then they would be self-aware. A couple of times I heard them say, I think one was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. David just said, well, I'm not the target audience for this film, so it's completely irrelevant whether I like it or not. He's actually able to say, I could critique it, I didn't get into it, but there is no value in me saying that because I'm not supposed to like it. It's not aimed at me. The people who will like it don't give a shit what I think. And
exactly. They don't watch the show. They're not going to vote for me.
Yeah, they would occasionally have that level of self-awareness where they would go, cool, think this is a young person's thing.
Who was it? It was an American politician who was doing a radio interview and they turned his mic on too quick or quicker than he thought. And he said over air in New York, clever boy, oh yeah, fuck the Jews, they don't vote for us anyway. And that went live out to New York. Can you remember that, don't you?
Oh, that sounds really familiar.
It was in our lifetime. It was in our lifetime.
I'm going to see if it comes up on a Google search.
Because there was another US presidential candidate in the 60s, early 60s, I think maybe even late 50s, who said, and it was, again, the same sort of thing. Mike went on early radio interview, and he said, oh, don't worry about the niggers. All they need is a dry place to sleep and a warm place to fuck. And that went out live. And, of course, he had to resign. It was over for him. And pretty much guaranteed that the Democrats got the black vote for a couple of generations.
Yep, I found it by typing into Google politician who said fuck the Jews on mic. And it was then Secretary of State James Baker in 1989. So that was Ronald Reagan's Secretary of State?
That was Ronald Reagan's secretary. I thought it was way earlier than that.
No, 1989. He said infamously, fuck the Jews, they don't vote for us anyway.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I thought it was like, 60s, 70s. Oh, man.
No, it was James Baker. So,
do you know James Baker? James Baker was a member of a Christian cult who famously believed in the end times, but also in hastening the end times.
Oh, yeah.
Remember,
those people are scary.
The American Secretary of State used to be Secretary for War. And he was in a position to basically start World War III. And, this shit didn't come out for years and years and years. Hang on, I'm just going to get me tooth glue and impress everyone by re-gluing my teeth.
All right. All right, I actually think CrossFit is right. James Baker would have been Bush Sr.'s Secretary of State. But I feel like he worked in the Reagan administration as well. But you're correct. In 89, that would have been in the Bush Senior category. Pat, you're going to see your mate wrestling on Saturday. Nice. John Hind.
Don't worry,
he-
guys. My
What?
teeth got kicked out by a VC attack in Nam. That might not have happened.
No.
Go on. What are you saying?
He remembered the classic film reviewer, ABC's John Hind. Remember him? That
Oh my God!
who you couldn't believe was still alive. You just think, this is a lovely film. This is
a lovely film. There was a lot of violence and a 6-barreled minigun, which reminded me of the present-day Gatling guns when I was a lad.
It's like, my favourite moment in that movie is when he shoved the gun into the other bloke's mouth and said, "Eat this, motherfucker." Wait, is my mic on?
It's really, I was impressed as the brain matter that they got to splat on the back wall.
Yeah. No, John Hind was a great film reviewer.
Well, do you know that, and you'll know this too, this too, Angry, let me just point the right way.
Yeah.
That a lecturer of ours when we were at uni, Mr. King, the film guy.
Yes.
Did you have him? Or did you have to?
No, I know who he was. Fuck that guy, just by the by.
Yeah, no, big fat guy who just.
Yeah, no. Because
when you went,
a story about him, but you do your one first.
All right. So when you went to his lectures, you'd see a film, and then he would talk for the rest of the 4 hours. So if the film goes like an hour 20 minutes, he would talk non-stop for the rest of the 4 hours. So like for 3 hours straight. That's where I learned my raconteuring. And a lot of his stuff would revolve around the golden age of Hollywood, which ended before the 60s. Anyway, he was always dark on Hines because he reckoned he should have got the gig.
Yes.
He should have got the gig as the reviewer, and Hines got it. And he always thought that Hines was a fucking total cunt because he wanted the fucking gig and Hines got it, and he wasn't a film reviewer's asshole. Now he never said it in those terms, but you could tell he was.
I know that too. Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to say what a prick.
Okay. Oh, sorry. At one point, I never took his class, but a girlfriend at the time did. And it was her birthday, and some people were organising a surprise party at our house. So I had to keep her out for about an hour while they set up.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it was Karen. And so we're seeing this idiot, and he decides to put a film on, and I'm going like, I don't know that we've got that long. And it was a not bad film. It was a James Wood film that's just called Cop. You know, it's a violent cop film. And I was like, okay, this will be an hour and a half, which I can just tolerate. And then he insisted on an intermission. He stopped the film halfway through and let's make coffee. And I'm just looking daggers at him because he wanted the company, basically. And I even pulled him aside at one point and say, I fucking told you, we're only supposed to be here an hour. The people have got the fucking party set up. We've got to go. And he's going, and I was going, I was going to punch him. I was going to fucking punch him.
Yeah, easy to do too, because there was a lot of him to punch. It's not like you could get really pissed and not miss.
Yeah, but it'd be like punching a beanbag. Your arm would get stuck. It'd be...
Yeah, that's okay. You'd get over the smell, a couple of showers.
Yeah. Oh, it's Safa's mum's birthday. She's about our age.
Hey, Safa, happy birthday to your mum. Say that a very sexy, half-toothless man said hello, lady.
Yeah. That's how you doing? That's a good birthday wish. Yeah.
I got a bit choice with the radiographer today.
What were you doing with you having X-rays done?
I was having X-rays done because I saw the osteo people today, bone people, and they said, "Well, your shoulder's still slightly broken."
Right.
So we're going to get X-rays of it, and if you don't hear from it from us, you'll be right. It'll be sore for another couple of months.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not quite healed yet. I can still feel creases in it. Oh. And yeah, so he's basically gone. It's got as good as it's going to get in our care. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Have I frozen up? I've frozen up, haven't I?
Yeah, that's okay. The camera's just gone, oh my God, he's doing gross stuff with his teeth. Let's not do
No,
that.
not very gross stuff. I mean, I do it every day. I suppose you don't do it every day because you didn't get your teeth kicked out by a VC fucking raid.
Yes. I didn't bite to death a whole Charlie squadron and lost my teeth in the process. We're just getting random freezes of you. The current one is pretty funny.
Well, the thing is, I'm only getting one freeze of me. And it's me looking rather philosophically down and to the right.
Yeah, that's what it's doing.
I look a bit, you know, a little bit wise, a little bit choice.
There you go. You come back to real time now.
If I'm back to real time,
yeah.
Oh, see, look, I've got teeth.
Yeah.
Samuel the Sadducees circumciser. Hang on a second, I'll put them back in my mouth.
Oh, look, ask me, you're damn right. John Hind would not have done that to me. He was a stand-up bloke. This guy was a fucking jerk. He's probably dead now, so I feel comfortable.
Oh, yeah, he has to be dead now because he was like 70 when we knew him.
Yeah.
And that was 30 years ago.
It's like I suddenly just saw myself as one of the guys at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
I'm falling apart. I'm old.
Because, you know, I wake up every morning thinking, oh, yeah, uni was like, you know, a couple of years ago. And then I look at the year and go, oh, no. Because I met one of my lecturers.
I remember that track. It was released in 1997. And you go, that was more than 3 years ago.
Yes, I don't remember that track. That was after I was listening to the top 60.
Yeah.
Yes, I think records were unavailable in stores at that time.
Outdated farm equipment wants to know, what do I make of John Setka being booted from the ALP? Took too fucking long. John Setka's a piece of shit, a self-absorbed wanker. He's just the textbook case of how the Conservatives get to abuse unions, because he was corrupt as fuck and just an awful person and absolutely self-interested. And fuck him, he needed to be gone much, much, much sooner.
Well,
that's my subtle opinion on John Setka.
Well, I'm going to give an opinion too. I got into a fucking argument today.
Yeah.
And someone said, oh, there's a lot of whitewashing in films. And I went, yes, there is. And this jerk fuck said, oh, yeah, and fucking...
You're going to bring up Ghost in the Machine again, aren't you?
Ghost in the Shell. I'm going, fuck you! And like, I've launched myself at his neck and saying, you know, bloody, it's her brain in a different fucking robot body that was made to look fucking very bland and, you know, bit European, bit this, bit that. And she's been in about 6 bodies anyway, so who'd give a fuck? And she doesn't know her origins, you fucking wank fuck. She speaks Japanese and is owned by the Japanese and is probably Japanese. And in fact, in the film, we saw her as Japanese. We saw the original Motoko being arrested and she was Japanese. And then they hacked out a brain and put it in a robot. And they own her. And this, in every single iteration of Ghost in the Shell, this comes out because she doesn't know who she is, but they've wiped her brain and she doesn't know how many times they've wiped her brain. You know, she comes out as young, then she's old, and she comes out as young, and sometimes she's a boy, and sometimes she's this one, and she's got like operates 5 bodies at once because she's a bit brilliant. And
I know that's your pet thing with Ghost in the Shell, and I think you know I disagree with you. Because the representation in anime, that's how they represent Japanese characters. It's not how they represent you. But again, this is just opinion, and that's fine. But mind you, the bit in the movie where she finds her real mother and finds out she was a little Japanese girl whose brain got put in the... I was just going, are they like sort of pissing in the audience's face here, going, whitewashing. Oh, look, get fucked. Whitewashing. I just thought they were taking the piss something chronic, like, yeah, we know everyone's going to say we're whitewashing by pushing. So now we're going, no, she literally stole a Japanese girl's brain and put it in a European body.
That's always been, if you can call it fucking canon, that's always been one of the existential crises of Motoko. She doesn't know where she comes from, but she thinks that she's Japanese, and she's owned by the Japanese, and they give her Japanese technology, and every fight she's ever been in that she can remember was on behalf of the Japanese, either government or mercenary troops that was a winter cell of the government. So there. So I agree that the whitewashing of The Last Airbender was...
Oh,
I think I've lost
The Last Airbender is not even close to the worst. The Dragon Ball movie was probably the worst.
I didn't even see that.
No, neither did I. I just saw
half an hour of the Airbender movie, and I actually bought it off Crunchyroll.
Wow.
And Crunchyroll said, yeah, don't know, man, it's an interesting thing. And they brought it out at the low price of $4. And I thought, oh, fucking, I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Because I was following the Airbender anime for a long time. It's a shitload of it. And I really had just got up to the Fire Nation fight. The Aang, no, there are no spoilers here. Aang had just gone, yeah, it's time to put the shit away and time to stop being, everything's beautiful and time to fucking put some kick-ass in. And I had to look at the Airbender movie, and I only watched 20 minutes of it, and I was going, this is defecant, being forced down my throat by M. Night Shyamalan, who fucking knew, the one trick pony of actually funded cinema. Hang on, there's a twist.
Yeah.
In every fucking movie he does. Every movie there's one twist, and it comes at the 4/5 mark. It was cool when he saw dead people. That was very cool. But the same one again and again and again, and it's like, oh,
well,
sake.
Sixth Sense was good, quite an impressive debut. I reckon his second film, the Bruce Willis as superhero Unbreakable, I think that one's really underrated. I think that's quite good.
But that comes from a comic book.
No. It was an original idea, and it's basically this guy who doesn't know that he's close to invulnerable.
Yeah.
And he rejects for gradually comes to accept it. And then he just made a succession of honestly fucking terrible films.
Yeah, shocking. Aliens Who Don't Like Water, I liked that.
Yeah. As Stella points out, it's not so much the whitewashing of Last Airbender that was bad, but just the movie was just shit from beginning to end.
It was shocking. It was fucked, and it was so rough, and so rough. When I mean rough is vomit making. That's an Australian term for vomit making, rough.
Yeah.
But I remembered, of course, that rough also means not smooth, and you could talk about a movie being rough as in not smooth, badly made. And it was badly made, but not badly edited. It was just shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing I was gonna say, which was quite important in the world of film, I've nearly got it in my brain, escapes me at the moment, which is disappointing. But if it comes back, I'll just shout it out.
Do that.
At an appropriate time. I'll just go, Shockabilly. And, you'll go, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'll go, no, it's like this. And you'll go, shut up, Hazy. And, we'll go from there.
Oh, Adele was bringing out, while we were talking about whitewashing, the film that had Matt Damon in it, Great Wall. You mixed up with Last Samurai, which had Tom Cruise in it. And I guess...
I remembered what it was.
Well, okay, what's your thing?
I remember that everyone was really, really shitty at the end of War of the Worlds that microbes killed the aliens, killed the Martians.
Ah, right.
When what was ironic for me was if you read the book,
That's what
that's
killed
how it
them.
ends.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
that's the
H.G.
original
Wells
thing.
said. And
That's the
everybody
thing.
got so shitty.
Okay,
Oh,
I didn't really
fucking
see it.
microbes.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, it's like read something, you cockhead.
that's like
Go
getting
on.
in arguments with people who don't believe Titanic was a real thing.
Yeah, don't worry,
But
it's
it
just a
was a
movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio film, not a real
Mm.
thing. Oh, Stella, should you go and see Joker? Okay, I did see. I think Joker is very well made. Like it's really well shot, well edited, acted. Um, it's really interesting because although it's a movie, you couldn't call it like canon for the Joker story because it flies in the face of literally every Joker origin story ever.
Mm.
I did like the joke. Someone turned it into a meme, like, you know, 1997, Jack Nicholson gets turned into the Joker by throwing him into a chemical vat. 2019, Joaquin Phoenix gets turned into the Joker by throwing him into society.
And that'll do it. Sorry, we were answering someone's question or someone's comment.
What? Oh no, I was just saying. Adele brought up the film that had Matt Damon in it, Great Wall, set in ancient China, and sort of mixed up a bit with the Tom Cruise film Last Samurai. So I don't think that's really whitewashing because it's not a story that already existed that's about Asian people that they cast a white person in the Asian role. They just come up with some dumb fucking story that they arbitrarily shove a white person into because they think they need to sell the film.
And
And
also, too, Tom Cruise is constantly in foreign films that they rip off and turn into Hollywood films.
yes,
Like Vanilla Sky
yes,
was a Spanish film called Open Your Eyes.
yes.
And same exact plot. What was that you flashed up?
It moved. I wanted to Zane saying hello.
Hi, Zane. How you doing? I'm waving in front of the camera as opposed to out here because I do that all the time. I wave out here, and in fact, I should be waving in here. Hi, Zane. It's good to see you, man.
Oh, yeah, Adele, you might be making a wise choice. Adele's worried about going to see the Joker film because it might trigger anxiety and she doesn't want to fuck up people's cinema experience. It is reasonably intense. Still won't go into any spoilers. Look, it is broadly quite good. I know some people are worried. It's like, oh my God, it looks like they're turning the Joker into a violent incel psychopath that scary fucking incels will identify with and feel justified in it. And I can see some
They
of these
already feel
idiot
justified.
incel types actually doing that. I wouldn't say that's the film's fault because I
They
don't think
already
that's
feel justified.
yeah.
Trust me, they already feel justified.
Oh, speaking about Margaret and David and films and people doing shit, reminds me of the old Russell Crowe film Romper Stomper about the neo-Nazi skinheads.
That was good. God, that was a
Really good film. Really good film. And David hated it and refused to rate it because it didn't. There wasn't a big sign held up saying the Nazis are bad, and it's like I think an intelligent person can draw that inference themselves. It's just that instead of making the neo-Nazi gang leader a joke or deeply darkly evil who repels you, they made him charismatic, sexy, and intelligent.
And
And that was young Rusty. And young David wasn't the only person upset by that. And that bugs me when people demand, no, if the person in the film is bad, there has to be big neon signs above their head saying, this person is bad. Don't empathize with them. And it's like, no, they pretty much, the neo-Nazis in this absolutely fucked up. They were scumbags. It was really clear they were scumbags, and they paid for their scumbaggery. Zane, I've been well. How have you been?
Yeah, the Romper Stomper was an odd film in the sense that the very last scene played out in mirror the whole problem that the Nazis were having. And I'm sure Angry knows what I mean. The reason I'm not telling you what the last scene was, even though it's an old movie, is it's fucking well worth a watch. If you've got YouTube Red or something like that, just look it up. It's
Yeah.
it'll be around somewhere. You'll find it. It's
Yeah.
well worth a watch. It asks a lot of very awkward questions.
Oh yeah.
Which I hope you've got answers. My flatmate was in it.
Okay, cool.
She was one of the small Vietnamese girls.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that it was the fascists arcing up against the Vietnamese, because it doesn't matter, because it could be any new Australian immigrant people, right? Because they tend to come, people are going on about the comedy, the kid in the Hitler Youth. I've gone blank, something rabbit.
It's Taika Waititi's new film, Jojo Rabbit, where Taika Waititi plays Adolf Hitler, which is fucking hilarious. A Jewish Maori playing Hitler is just
pretty funny.
The funniest thing. He's this kid in the Hitler Youth's imaginary friend. And just like one of the bits in the trailer when the kid's having trouble fitting in and saying, people think I'm there. And he's Hitler imaginary friend goes, oh, don't listen to them. People say stuff about me too, like, oh, look at this guy. He's crazy. He's going to get us all killed. He's a wacko.
Hey, I heard some really cool trivia. Yeah,
yes.
You remember Hogan's Heroes?
Yes, I watched an episode of it the other day. But anyway.
All right. You remember all the Germans in Hogan's Heroes, right? They were all played by ex-German Jews in
they
America.
were Austrians and Germans, yeah.
And basically they got together and said, will you guys do the Germans? And they all got together and said, yes, we will do the Germans on one condition. And what's that? The Germans never win anything. Because what they were going to do is they're going to have most of the time Americans winning, and then sometimes the Germans win, and then sometimes it was like, no. The Germans never ever win.
I always knew the commandant and the sergeant the Germans, Austrians, depending how you want to place it geographically. But out of interest, because they had some of the guest stars, the other German officers who'd be in occasionally, and I was just looking up all the cast, and I'm going, yep, every German in the show was German or Austrian.
German is a Jew, yeah. Every
single
one. They're all German or Austrian of origin. But remember when it was built? It was built in the 1950s, 60s, right at the end of 50s, 60s. And those guys, most of them had been refugees and then got back into acting, young actors in Germany, Austria, because there's a massive film industry over there. Massive film industry. And
55 to 71. There you go.
There you go. And
so they all lived through World War II. Yeah, the actors all lived through World War II. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them were there, sort of stuck, pretending, in the Wehrmacht, and a lot of them ran, and they were young actors who all of a sudden weren't famous and didn't have any money and had to break into Hollywood and did. They got this gig on Hogan's Heroes, and they cast it really well. And they said, no, fuck that, the Germans never win anything. Yeah. And they got their way. They never ever sold The Murder of Bob Crane. No, they didn't.
There's a good biopic with Greg, what's his name, plays Bob Crane. And the hysterical thing is, Bob Crane was into kinky sex. He used his fame to get people into group sex, and they would film it. And that's how he got killed, because of the jealousy and this whole thing.
But no one actually knows who did it.
Oh, everyone knows who did it. It's just that the cops fucked up the investigation because the whole thing was so weird that he was, bludgeoned to death in bed with the fucking tripod of the camera that was filming the orgy, and the cops never took it seriously, and they throw that in at the end of the movie, like. He voiceovers because he's been bludgeoned to death. Voiceovers, the cops screwed everything up, and they make it really obvious who fucking killed him. They don't show it, but it's obviously this guy who has always been part of the scene who got really jealous of Bob Crane, and but he just goes, they never got anyone. The cops screwed everything up, and da da da. But I just thought it was hilarious that he parlayed his TV fame into really kinky sex. That's just great.
Yeah, it's not the first time.
No, he's not a rarity.
Yeah, I remember that great story of Noel King. Was it Noel King?
I don't know.
A famous Australian homo who did he did personalities and acting, and he was all very haughty and getting on a bit.
Frank Three?
And, hey?
Frank Three?
Oh, could have been too. But
He
anyway,
was a kinky 70s perv, that man.
makes sense. And
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, no, that rings bells. So he leaves set on Thursday afternoon, and on
Yeah.
Monday morning hasn't turned up to work. And they're thinking, oh, fuck, he is getting on a bit. We should go around for a welfare check. And
Yeah.
they knock on the front door, nothing. They knock on the back door, open, and they go in to find him naked, bruised, and tied to a chair with a gag on him. They take the gag off. Fuck, Frankie, you okay? He says, "Oh, what a weekend!" And he's like, I want to be that guy. Anywho, so yeah, not the first time that they parlayed their fame into kinky sex. In the TV series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the guy who played Arthur Dent would often delay filming because they'd say, where is he? And he'd be off in the bushes fucking a grip. Yeah, he was a very bad homosexual man who had a nifty gift of finding homosexuals and having the sex with them. Apparently he could talk anyone into at least a blowjob. So, yeah, many of you famous folks have stuck it into people on a regular basis by consent.
Yes.
We're not even counting the people who roofie up their perspectives. See,
We don't want to
this
talk
is the
about
thing.
that.
Well, no, but I often wonder about this. Like, why are you having to force people when people would actually just do it for you? You know, you don't have to, because people
It's a
would
power
go,
thing.
"Oh, yeah, yeah, it is."
It's just they're just awful people. No one ever says no to them. So
Yeah.
they believe they
So
can do whatever they want.
So they think they're entitled anyway because no one ever says no.
Half
Yeah.
the people who do that shit, like Bill Cosby and whatnot, they just think they're entitled. They think nobody can say no to them.
Yeah.
So
'Cause no one said no to them for years and years and years and years.
yeah.
And away they go. I actually asked a friend of mine who is a homosexual properly why George Michael got busted in it was LA, wasn't it?
He was a toilet trader big time.
Toilet
Yeah.
trading, and he's like a mega rich superstar, you know.
And
Like,
good
why is he
looking.
fucking guy? Yeah, why is he fucking guys in toilets? And this homosexual friend of mine said, "Look, it's what you grow up with. It's what you associate sex with. If he's had his first few wonderful experiences in a toilet in Hampton Heath, you know, why not relive your youth? Why not go into an LA Dunny and see what you can pick up? You know, sure, he could pick up anything in a hotel, and often I'm sure would, but, you know, maybe he was looking for the excitement of, you know, the naughtiness of a semi-public place.
Oh, yeah, I think the naughtiness was a big part of it.
You know, and asked the wrong guy who happened to be one of LA's finest. No, they don't call him LA's finest, do they? Because they're corrupt as fuck.
Notoriously corrupt.
To protect and serve, which a lot of people always said as a sarcastic joke.
Oh my gosh. Bobo's got a fantastic bit of trivia. His wife's grandfather was in Alvin and the Chipmunks. Do you mean the original recording in the 50s or 60s? Because I had one of those records as a kid. Alvin! Actually had one of those albums as a kid, one of the original Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, you meant Alvin Purple. Oh, that's even better. Do you remember Alvin Purple?
Better.
That's Graham Blunt. It was this super weird 70s TV show, and they made a couple movies.
double stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
It was what he thought would happen and what actually
Yeah.
happened.
It was, Alvin
Which is
Purple was this very ordinary looking bloke, Graham Blundell, who was for some reason absolutely irresistible to women, and every show was just about him shagging people. And there were a few shows on Australian TV in the 70s that were really raunchy that you wouldn't get away with now. Alvin Purple was on the ABC. It's like Channel 10 had number 96.
Yeah.
It's just 69 reverse. No, there's a very obvious joke there with number 96. And
number 96.
The Box, was it Channel?
Yes.
There was number 96 was a hit. So one of the other networks tried to do a knockoff of it, which was just random people having sex in an apartment building. And that was called The Box.
I have some trivia.
Good.
Number 96 was the first series in Australia, made in Australia, to show on the screen homosexuals.
It was the first openly homosexual character. That was Joe Hasham, who wasn't even actually gay.
No, he was really they wouldn't
have.
actually.
And it also had the first lesbian kiss on screen.
They did. They did toward the end of the series, as they
Joe
were
never kissed anyone, but he was an open homosexual.
Yes, and he never did anything because they.
And Abigail with the rather enormous cleavage was the big draw card.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to mute for a second, and then I will be back. You don't have to make me small. I'm just going to go off camera for 2 seconds.
All right, I'm going to go off camera. Hi, Justin. Oh, I see you asking what's the reaction to Canadian election. I haven't looked into the Canadian election in detail. I know in basic, Justin Trudeau's going to continue to lead the government. He'll be a minority government. I think I saw someone saying he's decided to have a coalition with conservatives, rather like a minor conservative party rather than a minor progressive party, because he thought the Progressive Party would put too much pressure on him, so he's gone with a really conservative party because he thinks it would be easier. I don't know. That's right, Stella. The famous line from number 96 when Joe Hasham's character explains to a randy female person in the flats why he's not going to do it with her. He goes, "I'm a homosexual." Oh, yeah, PBR, I remember that. Chances, that was like in the 90s. Chances was, well, it was actually raunchier than number 96. And yeah, they tried to be like a latter-day number 96. A little bit of trivia. I worked crew on a student film that the guy, Jeremy, what's his name, who was the lead in Chances, he was the lead in this student film that was visually very good, had this very unsubtle plot line about a guy still being attached to his mother's umbilical cord as in his Arrested Development. But it had a sex scene in it with these two rather young, beautiful people, Jeremy, what's his name, and a young lady doing a sex scene. And I went and saw this short film in a cinema when it was released because I found out there was a short film screening night in a cinema. I was like, oh, this one I worked on's in there. I'm going to go and see it. And I kid you not, the sex scene, the lady's on top because I guess it was a feminist film. And she's on top and they're doing their simulated sex scene. And I don't know who came up with it, but it's directed Jeremy Sims. That was his name. He's a very strong young man, and he does this thing where he's got one hand on the floor and she's on top of him, and he puts an arm around her waist and then flips her over so he's on top. But it was really quite acrobatic. and she seemed to stay in the same space, and he spun around her. And I kid you not, in this cinema, when he flipped her over like that, more than half the females in the audience went, "Oh!" you heard it all through the cinema. This female gasp of "Oh!" It was fucking hilarious. But yeah, that's a little bit of trivia about Jeremy Sims from Chances. I worked on a student film that he was in that he did a naughty scene in. So, Lion Spider, you were an extra in an ABC miniseries, Palace of Dreams. Nice. When you were 12. Nice. I was a featured extra in a pseudo documentary. I was in a reenactment scene in a pseudo documentary about private investigators, and they cut my scene. My scene wasn't in it. When I eventually saw it, no one told me.
I think you were beautiful. I'm sad that they cut your scene.
I made a couple $100 for a Saturday morning's work, which at the time was
not unhappy anymore.
Yeah,
buggy, yeah.
But it was kind of funny.
$100. Do you know what I'd do for a couple $100? Angry,
actually, I do.
Angry,
yes.
angry,
Yeah.
looking at you.
Yeah.
Couple $100 looking at you. Angry, angry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have any doubts. No.
Just saying.
Yeah. But
saying, angry.
No one told me they didn't use my scene, and I happened to be going past the Valhalla Cinema in Glebe, and I saw it was showing, and I went, "That's the film I was in." And I went and watched it, and I wasn't in it. No, they cut my scene. Oh, that's a shame.
That's disappointing when they cut your scene.
Oh, Foxy's on the case. What's the halftime cocktail? Good question. Initiator, hello. It is a little bit fucking hot here. It's starting to cool down, but it's a warning sign of a brutal summer. Two Tank Frank, that's a bit nice.
Degrees today. I'm trying to get my phone out to decide what that is in Fahrenheit.
Too much.
Yeah, too much is right.
Nice. Abigail's left arm got on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Eddie Maguire. So
nice work, Abigail.
That's pretty good. Two Tank Frank's a bit nihilistic. How do men move forward when everything is shit? Don't know, dude. I am ostensibly a man, and I've been moving forward. I don't let shit get me down.
What's 34 degrees in Fahrenheit?
It's 93.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's 93.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Was the temperature today?
Yeah, so and that's just the warning sign. We are going to get ass fucked.
Oh, we're going to get hotter than that. We're going to
get
like
100 Fahrenheit all fucking summer.
Real easy, yeah. 100 all summer and 112 on many days, weeks.
No, this is going to be an awful summer. Increased drought. Towns are going to start running out of water. And
bushfires and
out of control bushfires.
Suck. Yeah.
It is going to be fucked.
Mm-hmm. And did the Liberals build any
no one cares
dams?
about freedom units.
Hey? Freedom units?
Yeah, Fahrenheit. Because America...
What I love is, there are countries that use the metric system, and there's a country that sent men to the moon, and then under that meme you've got that crossed out and said, and the Apollo program used the metric system the entire way. For all three programs actually, because they knew they were going to go metric for Apollo, because they expected and got equipment and technical support from around the world. Ta-da!
Whiskey. I'm trying to come up with a themed cocktail. I did actually find one called a bushfire. It's just whiskey and amaretto and bitters, which is a little bit boring. End of the world. Has someone invented a cocktail called an Armageddon?
Ooh, as you do. I wonder if you pour it in this little mushroom cloud. Like, you pour Baileys into something spiritual.
Yeah.
And goes,
I could pour some of the absinthe in, and that does the looshing thing.
We don't want the looshing thing. Not
Amaretto
really.
peach snaps for us. No, I don't have those things, and it sounds stupid.
Stupid.
Apocalypse Now tequila shooter. That sounds fun.
That does sound better, doesn't it?
What's this? Why are these people obsessed with fucking amaretto? Amaretto.
Well, because they're foreign.
Yeah, no, I've got some foreign drinks.
Yeah, but you're comfortably, insulated against most of the foreigners
Armageddon.
by
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. There's some consistency. Armageddon is consistently amaretto, snaps, schnapps, sour thing, raspberry, and some fruit juices and some fucking lemonade. Yeah, no, those cocktails are all shit. I'm not making them.
yeah, bugger that.
Satan's Whiskers. Hello. I like the idea of Satan's Whiskers. Death in the Afternoon. Jesus, these people just have the best names for. Who are these people? Miami New Times. Death in the Afternoon. Just absinthe. Absinthe topped with champagne. Do we lose AIDSy?
No, we still got AZ.
You were
I'm
just being
listening.
quiet.
Just listening to you go through cocktails and imagining them. And also, I got to read some of the live comments. Oh, yeah. I don't always get to because they I can't read. But RC was saying, I really miss John Hind. For a person that took a lot of drugs and watched a lot of black and white movies on the ABC in the middle of the night back in the 90s, that old man was awesome. He was awesome. And I also was on a lot of drugs when John Hind was on. And I miss John Hind quite a bit. And, some of the sexual scenes in this movie were very well done. I couldn't tell that they were in underwear at all. One could imagine that some of these sexual
I reckon I've
scenes
found the one I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
Well, I've skipped right past Death in the Afternoon, Go to Hell, Satan's Whiskers, and Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But I'm settling on End of Days. It's got limoncello, absinthe, vodka, and then it says like basil and ginger syrup. I've got a different syrup. I'll use my Lady Grey tea syrup. But yeah, limoncello, absinthe, and vodka sounds good.
Bloody absinthe. I don't know,
So for what suburbs Costco in? There's like at least 4 Costcos in Melbourne.
Yeah. We are
Someone's
not at
having a
loss.
Heineken. That's nice. Oh, Bobo's a fruit tingle. What are you, a 16-year-old girl? Sorry, I'm just being really judgmental there.
Bobo, I love a fruit tingle too. And I've been known to punch men. So, Bobo, you and me, fruit tingling up. But then I like a chocolate soldier too. And stuck in cock. But I have managed to put my nose in the fork a few times. So, let's just not judge me on that. You can have a chocolate soldier and be, classified as hetero.
In my salted caramel vodka.
My wife didn't like me having chocolate soldiers because it made her look a little bit handbaggish. And I used to tease her with that. But anyway, you get that.
So let me go and syrup. Okay.
Have you got 2 monitors, or are you just looking at us in a little window?
I am just opening other tabs.
So you're just hearing me. You're not even looking at me.
I had to ask if you were still there because I couldn't hear you. I was looking at another tab.
Oh, so I could be naked and flopping my bits around, and as long as I had my headset on, you would know.
Well, possibly.
So right. I could be taking my pants off.
I can see it now. I will absolutely. All right, what am I doing? I need to move some things. Need to get my glass with a big block of ice, jumbo block of ice.
Evening, Stella. How you going? Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Oh, where's my
teeth or no teeth? Haven't you lost your sex appetite, AZ? Haven't you lost your sex appeal, AZ?
Who says you lost your sex appeal? That's not true.
No, he was asking, haven't I lost my sex appeal? Yeah, no, people still do it. They still go, while they're talking to me. Like the radiologist today. She was all over it.
She was all over it. She's
I
gagging
know.
for it.
No, I'm not gagging, but we could have easy gone out for a drink. Technically still going to be alive.
Not going to do that. This one's all right. All right. Let's.
Hi, Wrestling Days. How you doing?
Zane, do I still flavour my own vodka? That's what we've got here. This is my salted caramel vodka.
He does flavour his own vodka. I see him doing his sorcerer's thing when I'm around there. It's quite disturbing.
Yeah. I've got a few.
He mumbles, evil things and then puts ingredients in. And you see them bubble up and you just go, this can't be right. This can't be right. Do I tell the Inquisition? I'm so torn.
I tell the Inquisition. Right, some limoncello.
Notice it comes in a shot polished bottle, so you can't actually see it because it's evil.
Yeah.
It's protected from your eyes so that you're not tempted into dark ways.
All right. Where's my vodka? I'm going to put some vodka in. It says 2 ounces of it. This is a pretty strong drink. Yeah.
But you're a pretty strong man, Angry.
It's going to come in handy.
We look at you for leadership, and we look at you for the kind of Valhallaric Viking ways.
I shall guide you to the gate.
We can get on a fucking longboat with this man because he can pray hard, sorcerer hard, and drink hard. And he can dance too, my friends. I've seen him boogie it up on the floor. I've tried to join him, but he just keeps on punching me away. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. I'm usually naked, waist down at that time, and he's not into it. I know I'm on drugs too, so usually at that time.
At the moment, it's quite a yellowish colour, but now I'm going to put the blue vodka in, the blue absinthe in, which is going to radically change things.
It is. It's probably just going to make it go brown.
No, blue wins the day.
Really?
Yeah, check it out.
It's kind of a brown, blue, rainbow.
Green.
Instead of like a LA morning
picture.
Or a Sydney morning. Hi, Sydney. How you doing? Yeah, I said it. Sydney morning, brown on the bottom, blue on the top. What's it look like now?
Hang on, I'm just pouring it into the glass.
Oh, the suspense. Angry. Come on.
See what it looks like on there.
Oh, it's a cloudy blue.
Yeah, it's sort of cloudy blue-green. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I suppose you'd have a better idea of the colour where you are.
Yeah, the colour is usually a bit false on the screen.
Yeah. You'll find that I'm using a warming term.
Oh my God, this is really good.
Is it really good? You like it?
It's really good.
Enjoy.
It's a bit beastly.
Bit beastly, did you say?
Bit beastly.
Right.
Like it's really gonna, you put that in.
No, Mummy, I shan't take it. I can't. It's beastly.
Put that in a trank dart, you could bring down a lion with it, I think. Zane, you haven't seen my blue absinthe. This is a brand of absinthe I like. I know, right? It's radioactive. It's actually Spanish. Like the name is, Jacques Reux absinthe, which makes you think it's French because that's like a traditional French thingy. But they make it in different strengths. The green, which is like the traditional color for absinthe, their green absinthe is 70% alcohol. And they make a red absinthe that's 75% alcohol. The blue absinthe is 80% alcohol, and the black absinthe is 85% alcohol. That's the one I had at your place at New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, and fuck the smell of it.
Yeah, I left a drink uncovered all night, and in the morning the entire house smelled of licorice.
It's like, oh, yeah, and I'm allergic to licorice, and I had to live in that house for a couple of days going, I think I'm going to retch. Mind you, I was on a lot of drugs that night, so the retching could have been there.
It was New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So.
And, everyone gets a free pass on New Year's Eve.
And I didn't mean to leave it. Like, I poured a drink. I mixed a drink with.
Yeah, we all crashed.
And then everyone said, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, I just mixed a drink. And we'll drink it. And I'm going, it's 85% alcohol. I'm not just drinking it.
But 85% alcohol, you're getting up to, bloody sterilizing paper.
Yeah. Well, that Polish stuff, the rectified spirit, which is 95% alcohol. And that's the most alcohol that you can keep in solution. After that, it evaporates. Yeah. And the Americans have one called Everclear. When I was looking at these evil named cocktails, one of them actually had half an ounce of Everclear in it. That's the American equivalent, which is usually, 190 proof, so 95% alcohol. I don't think you can legally buy either of them in Australia anymore because of all the debts.
You can't, because they're unable to be treated with the anti-disease making vitamins, which are mandatory in Australia. If you put vitamin B and ENA in Everclear, it actually changes colour. And that's the guarantee of the Australian government, is the vitamins will not affect the drink in any way, shape or form. But if it's sold in Australia, it must have those vitamins in. Someone said something?
Someone asked what's the origin of the name Yarra, because I think someone is suggesting that they might change the name of the Yarra. I looked up the Wikipedia entry, which used to be called the Yarra Yarra River. They're saying that the local Wurundjeri people actually called the river Birrarung. The park down by the river is called Birrarung Marr. Nice. And sorry, I just saw something in the summary that made me laugh. It's called Birrarung by the Wurundjeri people who occupied the Yarra Valley. The name Yarra Yarra is said to mean ever-flowing river, but most likely refers to the Yarra Yarra Falls, which were later dynamited. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Australia.
That's a bit left field.
Rich, I like those falls. They're pretty, aren't they? Clear. Sound the siren.
Yeah. I was saying you've never had absinthe. Absinthe has a very strong licorice taste. It's an aniseed-based drink. So if you've had the Greek ouzo, that's in the same ballpark.
Yeah, same.
And what's the other one? The I think it's a version of Sambuca. Sambuca is also an aniseed.
Yeah. Black Sambuca is licorice as well, or aniseed. Yeah, and so the absinthe has a bit of a history in the sense that in France years and years ago, they banned it because there was a bit of a moral outrage. This guy drank absinthe and went on a muck rage.
Fucking horseshit. It's just a typical.
People. And they said, absinthe makes you crazy. Fact is, he was crazy beforehand and pissed out of his mind. Yeah. And
it's dangerous because it's a high alcohol drink. Like traditionally, it's at least 60 or 70% alcohol. And if you get a rather out of control maker like Jacques Chirac, it starts ratcheting up into the 80s.
But also, too, it was a political thing. The
Bohemians
lobbying. What?
The Bohemians had that whole ritual with absinthe. You put absinthe in your glass, and you have a special spoon, which I have one of, called an absinthe spoon, and you put a cube of sugar on top of that, and then you drip chilled distilled water through the sugar into the absinthe. So you slightly dilute and slightly sweeten the absinthe. And then there's this whole fucking ritual. And because it has herbs in it, wormwood or thujone, people go, oh, it's hallucinogenic. It's not hallucinogenic. It's just really high alcohol. So you get fucked up if you drink a lot of it. And because the Bohemians were really into it, and they were regarded as degenerates and whatnot. And so this whole moral panic in the early 20th century got absinthe made illegal in a lot of places.
Also, too, the guy who was lobbying hardest for it had a opposing distillery drink brand
It's always the way.
to the most popular absinthe maker of the day. And if he could corner him, then he could corner most of the market in French
It's
distilled.
like the alcohol industry were the ones who fucking lobbied to make drugs illegal. And
Yeah. The alcohol industry and the oil industry, because a lot of biohemp products could actually run motors, and a lot
But fucking
of
Polish rectified spirit could run a motor. 95% alcohol.
I,
Gets them to the moon.
doesn't it? I thought they ran ships on it. At least American jet engines. I know that.
It literally said on the bottle, as used in hospitals. And I was like, yeah, to disinfect surgical tools.
Yeah, and
They're not
wounds.
drinking it in a
I'm
hospital.
sorry, son. This is gonna hurt. And then they light it. Boom.
Yeah.
Do you know how the proof came about? 180 proof. Do you know?
I actually only discovered that really recently. I thought, why do they say that? Like 100 proof is 50% alcohol, 180 proof. Why not just say percent alcohol? And it was a tax thing, and they do it with a grain of gunpowder, and there was a different tax on alcohol that had over 50% alcohol as opposed to alcohol that had under 50% alcohol. And if you could put a grain of gunpowder in the alcohol, and if you could still light it, it was over the 50% alcohol. So that was 100% proof that this got a higher tax rate. And that's where it came from.
And then they discovered the speed of the gunpowder burning could give you an even more precise proof.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't burn if it was under 50% because it would just be wet. But if it's over 50%, I discovered that with the rectified spirit because I flavored it with some herbs. I've actually still this is the remnants of last one I had. It's not so much that the alcohol was too strong, but I kept the herbs in it for so long that it just sucked all the flavor out of the herbs. Like it was almost black. The green was so dark, and it was too strong to drink. Not too strong alcohol. Although it was, because we both actually tried it. Fun thing about this 95% alcohol stuff, if you hold it in your mouth is warm enough to make it vaporize. You hold it on your tongue and you can feel it just sort of vaporizing on your tongue.
You don't actually have to drink it. If you hold it on your tongue,
no, it'll just vaporize in your mouth.
It'll just boil off.
But I've diluted this 2, 3, 4 times with vodka. So it's probably still 60%, 70% alcohol. But it's drinkable.
When you start talking about diluting things with vodka,
yeah, I know,
right? You're right in a different place.
Yeah,
you're really on the next level.
But I found because I flavored the rectified spirit with herbs and some vodka with herbs at the same time, and then when I took the herbs out, they're like impregnated with the alcohol. So I wonder if this burns. And the stuff that was in the rectified spirit, I put a match to it and it just crackle, burn. And I did it with the vodka, and the vodka one wouldn't burn. And this is the whole 100 proof thing, because vodka's only like 40% alcohol. And the herb, and it was still a very green herb that had absorbed all the vodka, didn't burn. The one with the 95% alcohol rectified spirit. Ooh, it burnt a treat. Crackle, 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 it went.
Mm. In fact, I'll show you a trick next time I'm over there. We need a big, like a water cooler keg would be best. But if not, doesn't matter. We can do it with a bottle. But I won't say much more. I'll show you when we get there. Absinthe eating abalone while listening to you live. Oh, that's a pun, but pretty good. It's pretty good. Thanks, David.
PBR has one too.
Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. It makes the heart grow something. I thought fur.
It possibly makes the heart grow too large for your chest cavity.
yeah.
Until you have trouble breathing and you fall down and wake up in intensive care. Don't
I've never done that, by the way.
Not clever.
I've woken up in intensive care and gone, intensive care.
Oh, like 6 times.
Shit, you shouldn't know that you're in intensive care. You're supposed to wake up in intensive care and go, where am I? Not.
Yes.
Oh, Margaret, how you going? Hey,
the nursing staff, how they react when they see you when you regain consciousness and you go, oh, again.
It's more like, 80, mate, it's time to get up. Other people need the bed. Yeah. Okay, sure. And no, don't actually get up. You've got cords and stuff on you. Absinthe makes the heart grow fondless. Oh, yes.
There might be a bit of that, yeah.
I get a bit handsy.
Behave yourself if you're on absinthe. This is a good drink.
I'm glad that you are enjoying it.
I am.
I am glad that you are enjoying it. I might have to go off camera for just a moment.
That's okay.
Don't even make me small or nothing. I'll just come back when it's necessary. But
what I'll do, I'm going to do a watch party while you're off. Just look, I'm going to do a thing just in case people haven't seen the last video. I'm going to see if I can make this happen. Chrome tab, this one, share. No, wait, that's the whole thing. There you go. Okay, and now if I do this.
Ooh.
Now I want volume.
You've got volume.
Let's see if this works. We'll watch along my video. Here's the video I made. And we can talk about it. Look at that. Because I never watch my videos back. I've been a little bit slack. Yeah, see? Always treat you to live streams.
Sky News. And like 99% of Australia don't give a fuck about them because no one watches them. They desperately want to be Australia's version of Sky News. They get their funding.
This is like for fucking real. Sky News' ratings are so bad. They want to be Fox News. Their viewership compared to Fox is like me compared to Friendly Geordies. It's terrible.
At getting people saying, wow, you're really a piece of shit, aren't you? Was his rather abusive attack on New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern saying, someone should shove a shot down the throat. He has a history of using
is the volume any better?
Violent language towards women who dare to speak up, who dare to have a view that contradicts him. And hey, yeah, I get the shits with people who disagree with me. I haven't been telling anyone to smack Alan Jones over the head and put him in a chaff bag and throw him into the ocean because I don't usually do that sort of thing. But that is the type of thing that Alan Jones says. And Sky apparently smarting a bit from the fact that pretty much everyone said Alan Jones is a piece of shit and he shouldn't be given a platform. They've come out with an exclusive. They go, we've unearthed a tweet from Jacinda Ardern from 2012 where she says mean things about Alan Jones. Oh my God, an exclusive, like some sad fuck at Sky News has spent fuck knows how long dredging through Jacinda Ardern's Twitter history and probably other media history as well. And they've come up with, in 2012, Jacinda Ardern had a tweet to the effect of, hey, I know an Alan Jones too. Unlike the Australian one, he's not a git and everyone doesn't hate him. That's their big scoop. She's called him a git and said, basically, her phrase was even milder than everyone hates him. He's widely disliked, I think was her phrase. And Sky News tried to beat this up. See, she's just as bad. And the reactions ranged from a yawn of complete disinterest to people just laughing at them like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you trying to equate this? I mean, false equivalence is usually shocking, but this is a real fucking sad shocker. And just as a bit of trivia, why, you may wonder, way back in 2012, well before she was New Zealand Prime Minister, why did Jacinda Ardern bother to say he was a git? Well, this was just after another of Jones's vile outbursts where he behaved in a completely disgusting manner because he thought it was behind closed doors that no one would rat on him. But apparently even some of the people at this exclusive Liberal Party gathering found him too reprehensible. And among other things, he's around this period said then Prime Minister Julia Gillard's father died of shame, which is a pretty fucking vile attack to do on someone. He's just a piece of shit. And honestly, the reaction of saying he's a git and everyone hates him, pretty fucking mild, quite honestly. Just as by the by, that same year, way back in 2012, another thing that Alan Jones was involved in, a tribunal found that he had direct responsibility for inciting the Cronulla race riots, one of the more disgusting events in recent Australian history. And it was fun to see in that thing when that shit blew up in his face after he spent a week or so whipping up racist hysteria. When it fucking went south in a big way, he went on holidays that he'd always planned to have. He wasn't hiding from the public just because every time he's been in a shitstorm in the past, he's evaded it and never answered for it. Hey, ask him what happened to getting arrested in a public toilet in the UK. See, if he was honest about that one, I would be one of his strongest defenders because the law under which he was arrested is fucking horseshit. But he got off because he had friends in high places, no less than then Australian Prime Minister Bob Hawke put pressure on the British government, say, hey, release him, this is fucking bullshit. And he promised to come clean, and he never did. Possibly because he spent so long whipping up a conservative fan base that some of them may have reacted poorly to the fact that
you're on.
Wasn't it John Howard?
Toilet because a copper thought he just
No, it was Bob Hawke.
And part of what they call a sting
Okay.
operation, the British in their quaint way called cottaging, the idea of picking up people for casual sex in public toilets. That was a sweep under which Jones was arrested. He said he was going to, once it was all over, tell everyone the truth about what really happened. He never did. When he was found to be responsible for the Cronulla riots, he never really owned up to it or apologised, and he never apologises for anything. And the fact that the absolute sad fucks at Sky News think digging up an old tweet from Jacinda Ardern responding to one of his pieces of vileness by saying he's a git and nobody likes him. The fact that they think that's news and an exclusive tells you all you need to know about Sky News. They are absolutely pathetic. They are absolutely clueless. Nobody gives a fuck about them.
There you go. There's a little watch party. Wasn't that fun?
It's brilliant.
All right. I'm going to adjust some volumey things. Yeah. So, oh, wow. Go away. Go away. Okay. That was
No,
good.
you invited me here. Not going anywhere.
Here's
Well, I
a
am.
little, yeah, I like PBR. We should do the Peter Finch from Network. Stick your head out the window and yell, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
I don't have a
Um,
window that I can do that.
Jesus,
It
that
only
movie
goes like that
predicted
far.
the future so well. Like they predicted an incredibly deranged cult of personality in broadcast news, and it's like it ended up happening.
Yeah.
Adele, you have to head off soon. I'm going to head off soon. It's 10 to 10. I'll be gone soon. But yes, the Alan Jones in the public toilet thing. Weird bit of trivia. That happened just after I finished uni. I was doing a work experience thingy at Triple J in Sydney when they had just gone national, but everything was still based in Sydney. And I was working in the newsroom, and the one journo that got to Alan Jones before his lawyers started screaming at him, "Don't answer the phone and don't answer the door," was an ABC journo who knew what hotel Jones was in. He got arrested, but he was released on bail. And this ABC journo knocked on the door down. "Alan, you want to tell us what's happening?" And he said Jones Jones opened the door and he said that to him, Jones just broke down crying and said, "You're going to destroy me, aren't you? You've been waiting for this. You guys are going to ruin me." And I happen to know that the ABC newsrooms collectively decided we are not going to vilify Jones for that, because the law under which he was arrested is supremely fucked.
Yeah, ABC is usually pretty good about going, okay, if you're an evil, cruel, bastard criminal, sure. But if you're just, fucking having it away at your place, then we're not interested. They'll go at politicians for being assholes, but if, they like getting whipped at home, it's like, nah, whatever, good on you, mate. Mind you, the fucking
But what
British
was funny is like, because
Christ, they would fucking just go you for anything. If you're on the phone having a wank, oh God, he's on the phone having a wank. It's like, for fuck's sake, dude. And squidgy tapes are fucking ridiculous as well. It's like, who gives a fuck, mate? Consenting adults.
the charge he was arrested under was outraging public decency. And when the London-based journo says, yeah, the charge is outraging public decency. And it's like Andrew Ollie on ABC AM in Sydney saying like, what does that charge actually mean? He goes, well, it's a little bit broad. It can mean a number of things. In this specific case, it means masturbating in a public toilet. And what the police alleged is while they were doing their sting in public toilets that were reputed to be gay beats, as is the practice that the British call cottaging, trying to pick up in a public toilet, an attractive young constable goes in and stands at the urinal, not in uniform, in casual clothes, stands at the urinal, and then a likely type stands next to him and let's just say does a little bit more than shake the old fella while he's standing there.
I thought they shook hands.
This was made a joke in an Alas Smith and Jones sketch, that Griff Rhys Jones and Mel Smith series. But it was the actual statement from one of the senior cops. Like, how do you know if he's coming on to you? And how do you know? Like, everyone's got their dick in their hand. Everyone waves it around a bit. And the copper actually said, if they shake it more than 3 times, arrest them.
There you go. There you go. More than 3 times and it's a wank.
Best thing ever. If they shake it more than 3 times, arrest them.
But didn't Alan Jones also get up to something in Australia and John Howard got him off?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no.
I thought he got done again here.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say you're misremembering that, because I've spent quite a bit of time researching Alan Jones, and I'm going to say you are misremembering that.
I don't know.
Because
I reckon, maybe
I'm going to say a couple of things have got mixed up in your head, which is a thing that happens to all of us. But
okay, I'm prepared to let it go this time.
If someone provided evidence to the contrary, I'd...
that would be tricky, yeah.
Yeah. But oh god, you know what he's got in recently? He had his faithful manservant, a butler that's been working for him for a really long time, who just quit because apparently he can't handle things. Alan's got a new friend who's 22 years old, a 22-year-old young liberal is shacking up with Alan, and apparently his butler's just like, fuck, no. And he's got like, I've protected your privacy for decades, and I've stood by you for decades, and I think the butler just can't stand this dude and has just gone, you know what? Fuck it. No. And
I can get another gig. I'm a butler. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
If I just say I was working for Alan Jones, fucking half a dozen fucking multimillionaires would go, yep, you're the man. Come on in.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the
I
coke
can only
parties.
imagine this guy said to Jones before he resigned, he said, you have got to get rid of this guy. Just fuck no. Okay, this is too much. No, get rid of him or I'm quitting. And Jones, I'm in love. And the butler's going, cool, leaving.
Man in a van will be coming around to get the rest of my things.
It's just, man. It's just the idea that this guy has stood by Jones for decades, but he's just gone like, nah, not this guy. I can't fucking stand him. Fuck it. Him or me. And Alan's going, I think it's him. And it's just like, okay, going.
God.
It's just like, oh my God. That is the word. And look, everyone can be blinded by youth and beauty, right? Everyone can make a fool of themselves.
Not me.
And beauty. And
I'm not blinded by youth and beauty.
Yes, you are. I know what's just off screen there. You're completely in the thrall of youth and beauty over there.
No. I'm abused by boss in the house, but that's about it.
That's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me? I'm saying
only
it's
does it for the abused. Hey?
I'm just saying, you probably can't hear me because you've got headphones on. I just wanted to go on record that I just said that AZ is completely in the thrall of youth and beauty. So,
yeah, no, boss of the house can't hear you because he's
okay.
busily watching.
There are witnesses in the chat. What's he doing?
What the hell is he watching? He's watching news.
Good
I
Lord.
don't fucking watch news. I'll let Andrew watch. Oh, sorry. I'll let Andrew watch the news. And
Arthur, what year did the Butler leave? This has just happened. This was in the news this week. This was in the news this week. Fucking hilarious. Like the media going to the extent of trying to make it obvious. They don't want to say Jonesy's banging this 22-year-old because they don't know. They don't know for sure.
They don't have evidence that a young liberal is banging.
If you're an aged and wealthy and influential person who has a 22-year-old living with you, you're not necessarily doing it with them. I'm going to go on record here. I don't know that this guy's sucking Jones's dick or Jones is sucking his dick.
Or
I don't know. It's not my business. It's not my business. But his butler didn't want anything to do with it, apparently. That's such a bad mistake. That is such. You've got to someone who's been loyal to you for a really long time who goes, no, this is dumb. No, I'm going to leave. You like I said, we can all be blinded by youth and beauty, but you made a really bad mistake when someone who's been loyal to you for ages says, no, fuck that guy off or I'm leaving. And you say, okay, you leave then. And I think that's probably Jones's ego came into it. And it's just like, fucking hell. Oh, yeah, sorry. We're now having conversation about, is Jones taking the little blue pills to keep up with a 22-year-old? Probably. Maybe he just worships the daughter. He's been known for years. Anyone who ever wanted a favorable response from Alan Jones on his radio, anyone who wanted a favorable mention from Alan Jones on his radio show would just have a message hand-delivered to the studio by an attractive young man, and Jones would react favorably.
I did that, but I was the attractive young man, and then he panned me. on
No,
the
no,
radio.
I can see you
Fuck.
going there and wowing Alan Jones.
Oh, wow, him. Fucking hell. Oh, what a weekend. You know, he missed 2 days of show because of me.
Couldn't walk
Um,
straight for a week. Ugh.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
for
just-
me to get me
do you ever
all
see
up.
that the movie Bad Santa with Billy fucking Ray Thornton or whatever his name is?
Oh, yeah. He was, used to be,
He used to be Mr.
Mary-
Angelina Jolie.
yeah,
But
Billy
he-
Bob.
he-
Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob
Billy Bob
Thornton.
Thornton, that's it. He got famous from the movie Sling Blade, but he's a pretty good actor. Bad Santa is a fucking weird film. It's kind of funny, very weird, but he's an absolute depraved thing. The thing with the butt sex, and in his Santa uniform, he seduces some mother in the shopping mall, and he's dragged her into like a change room in one of the clothes, and you hear the grunting and groaning, and in his charming bedside manner, you just hear him say, "I'm finished. You're not going to shit right for a week."
Go, Santa, go.
that man's nothing but charm. That man is nothing but charm.
Yeah, you know, that's what I want my Santa to be. Pop down my chimney, Santa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a really tasteful note to end on. Billy Bob
Pop
Thornton.
down my chimney, Santa.
Yeah, down
Put me on the nice list.
Yeah. You want to be on the naughty list for this Santa.
No, I want to be on the nice list. Oh,
He puts you on the naughty list, I tell you what.
yeah.
Anyway,
they all do.
thank all you fabulous people for dropping by and spending some time with us.
I'd like to say Wankel Rotary Engine, and thank you very much for letting me be on your device. I'd like to be on your device again on Tuesday, if I may, where I'll be presenting more about how to pick up chicks' bow, which wow.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking all about communication.
That's right, Stella. That there's a line where when Billy Bob's trying to procure the services of a sex worker, she actually says to the bad Santa, "Fuck you! I couldn't shit right for a week last time." Oh, they just went to town, and there's a sequel too, Bad Santa 2, where Kathy Bates plays his mum, and she's more crass than him, which is truly spectacular.
Because Kathy Bates is also the sweetest, nicest thing you'll ever meet. So,
and she is crasser than him in Bad Santa 2, which is just great. PBR, I'm glad we did cheer you up, buddy. And
Good.
One and all, thank you for spending time with us. We'll see you again. We'll say bye for now.
Bye, guys. Thanks a lot.